Hello students, let's start our class. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter from your political science. The name of the chapter is power sharing. Before we start our class, we should know the meaning of power sharing. So what is power sharing? Power sharing means sharing of responsibility and powers by the different organs of the government, such as the legislature, executive and judiciary. It also indicates sharing of power among different people, parties, social, religious and linguistic groups that usually happen in democracy. In this chapter, you will get the example of two countries, Belgium and Sri Lanka. And by taking the example of these two countries, we can easily understand what is power sharing. Let's start the class with the example of Belgium. Dear children, we should know the meaning of the term ethnic. It means social division based on shared culture. People belonging to the same ethnic group believe in their descent because of similarity of physical type of culture or both. They need not always have the same religion or nationality. So Belgium is a small country in Europe. The ethnic composition of this small country is very complex. Of the country's total population, 59% lives in the Flemish region and speak Dutch language. Another 40% people live in the Wallonian region. Remaining 1% you will get German-speaking people. In the capital city, Brussels, 80% people speaking French, while 20% are Dutch-speaking. The minority of French-speaking community was relatively rich and powerful. This was resented by the Dutch-speaking community, who got the benefit of economic development and education much later. So, it led to the tension between the Dutch-speaking and French-speaking communities during 1950s and 1960s. And gradually the tension between the two communities were more acute in Brussels, because Dutch-speaking people constitute a majority in the country but a minority in the capital. Sri Lanka. Let us compare this to the situation in Sri Lanka. Dear children, here you will get 2 crore people just like Haryana. So like other nations in the South Asia region, Sri Lanka has a diverse population. The major spatial group are the Sinhala speaker and the Tamil speaker. Among Tamil speaker, there are 2 groups. One is Tamil natives. They are known as Sri Lankan Tamils. And others are Indian Tamils. Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhist, while most of the Tamils are Hindu or Muslim. There are about 7% Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. So, dear children, just imagine what could happen in such a situation. Dutch community could take advantage in Belgium and in Sri Lanka. Sinhala community would take an advantage in this situation. Then how they had settled their problems? My dear students, let's discuss about Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the government followed the majoritarian policy to get the supremacy in Sri Lanka. But we should know the meaning of majoritarian. It is a belief that majority community should rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding wishes and needs of the minority. In 1956, an act was passed that recognized Sinhala as an official language. Government followed preferential policy that favored Sinhala in university position and government jobs. A new constitution declared Buddhism as state religion. So, what were the consequences on Tamils? Feeling of alienation increased among the Sri Lankan Tamils. They felt Sinhala leaders not sensitive towards the language and culture, and constitution and gov policy denied them equal political rights, discrimination against them in getting jobs and opportunities. As a result, the relation between Sinhala and Tamil communities strained over time. Now, what did Sri Lankan Tamil do? They organized parties and struggled for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. They demanded for regional autonomy to provinces populated by Tamil. They also demanded equality of opportunities in education and job. By 1980s, they started demanding independent Tamilism and northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka. So, as a result of it, the increasing distrust between the two communities, and it ultimately led into a civil war. So, thousands of people were killed. Many Tamils were forced to leave the country as refugees. Socio-economy and cultural life of the country was terribly disturbed. So, my dear students, let us discuss about Belgium. Between 1970 and 1993, the Belgium's leaders amended their constitution 4 times. The constitution tells that the number of Dutch and French-speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Some special law requires the support of both communities. No decision can be taken by any community unilaterally. Many powers of the central government were given to the state government. There is a third kind of government. It is known as the community government. It is elected by people belonging to one language community, Dutch, French, and German speaking, no matter where they live. It has the power regarding cultural, educational, and language-related issues. So, my dear students, now you find that the Belgium model is very complicated, but the Belgium leaders have worked well. They helped to avoid civic strife between the two major communities and the possible divisions of the country on linguistic lines, and it became the model of European Union. So now question arises. What do you learn from these two stories of Belgium and Sri Lanka? Both are democracies, yet they dealt with the question of power sharing differently. In Belgium, you will find the leaders have realized that the unity of country is possible only by respecting the feelings and interests of different communities and regions. Such a realization resulted in mutually acceptable arrangements for sharing power. But on the other hand, you will find that Sri Lanka shows us a contrasting example. It shows us that if a majority community wants to force its dominance over others and refuses to share powers, it can undermine the unity of the country. Thank you, students. Have a good day.